Welcome back to Wash Talk, everyone, the Carwash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today we have David Goodman, CEO and President of Edenark Group. David, thanks for joining us here on Wash Talk today.
Thank you very much for having me.
You know, David, car wash owners and operators out there and professional detailers, they want to be known for doing one thing great, and that's washing cars really, really well, right? One thing they shouldn't want to be known for is this concept of greenwashing. So that's why I wanted to get you on the program here today to discuss, what is greenwashing and what are the negative consequences of greenwashing, and more importantly, maybe how can operators promote being sustainable or green in the most responsible way possible, right? So before we get into all that, David, why don't you first start off sharing a little bit about your background and how you got started working with businesses on being sustainable?
So I'm a corporate turnaround enhancement executive. I've been doing that for decades. I became involved with building energy efficiency 35 years ago. I've been the CEO of a number of alternative energy companies. My own company, which offers the Edenark Group Environmental Sustainability Certification Program, is 27 years old.
Yeah, nice. Very nice. Yeah, definitely an important topic. So let's jump into that concept of greenwashing, right? What is greenwashing, and do you find it to be prevalent in the car washing market, would you say?
So historically, the definition of greenwashing was simply if an organization exaggerated its environmental accomplishments or status. And just if it exaggerated its green claim, so to speak. But there was a problem with that. How do you verify? As the world became more demanding of companies to show they're environmentally friendly, and as companies sought to take advantage of this and cash in on the direction that the world was going, the more companies started making claims. Studies show, believe it or not, CEOs who responded confidentially to some studies, over 70% of all sustainable, green, environmental, eco-friendly claims are false.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty significant percentage there, would you say?
Big number. So today, to avoid being labeled a greenwasher, a company making company claims as opposed to project claims, and I'll clarify that in a second. So a company making company claims needs to be certified under a globally respected standard where the claim can be attached to something. And that claim needs to be verified by a legitimate third party. So let me go back to the company claim versus the project claim. The project claim is specific to an enhancement. We put solar on the roof and we dropped our electric bill. We installed a water control system in the car wash, and it reduced our water usage by 25%. Those kinds of enhancement claims, as long as you have a legitimate third party, verifying that you really did put the thing in, and they look at your energy bills and they confirm that your claim is accurate, you can make those claims without any attachment to a certification, without any involvement with a global standard. You can just go out there and make those claims, okay? But when you start saying something about your business, such as we're an environmentally friendly company, or we're an eco-friendly company, or sustainable, or green, or anything along those lines, that claim needs to be attached, again, to a recognized, respected standard that your company has been certified under, and then a third party needs to verify it. So in effect, your claim must tie to the standard that you're, verified under, okay? Now, as to your second question, is greenwashing prevalent in the car wash industry? Well, we just said, any company making environmental claims that are not certified under a legitimate standard and verified, is greenwashing. So look across your sector, look at all the car washes, and think about those car washes that are making eco-friendly or environmental or green claims. How many of them have a certification? How many of them are posting their certification on their website? So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the key piece. Can you tie it back to something that's certified and verified, and that you're actually doing something to reduce your carbon footprint? That's the point here, right? So,
well,
go ahead.
So there. Let's look at a company's balance sheet. Or your not balance sheet, your P&L. You got your expenses and you got your revenues. Okay, if a company decides to become sustainable, and as part of that, it reduces its expenses, which 99% of all companies that have become sustainable lower their costs, and every company that we certified must lower its costs, so we must help them lower their cost. If you do that, and if you don't talk about it, wonderful. It's fantastic. I mean, that's why you're doing it for. You're doing it to help the environment. Perfect. But the minute you start talking about something and making claims, that's when you have to have it backed up.
Okay, fair enough. So for somebody who's practicing greenwashing, maybe they either know it or don't, unknowingly they're practicing greenwashes, what are the risks that to their business and their reputation by doing this and not knowing it?
So the risk has become significant. I would say that up until the last few years, it actually wasn't that significant, and that's why so many companies were exaggerating. Okay, but there are a growing number of environmental activists. We get calls regularly from environmental activists asking for leads. They're hunting and they're trying to expose companies that are greenwashing. Now, most of their effort is against bigger companies. So a smaller company, they're not going to get up in the morning thinking, oh, I'm going to go find a little company. They're going to get up in the morning, I'm going to find a big company. But if they stumble onto a small company, they're going to take action. And it's not going to be a good thing for that company. Further, besides the activists, governments, state, federal, are now filing suit against companies that are that they believe are greenwashing, and governments are actually reaching out to entities, the activists, and suggesting that they take action. So you've got the activists, which have grown, taken a more active role. You've got the government, or governments, states, federal, international, taking active role, and you've got the governments reaching back to the activists and saying, look, we can't do it all alone, you help us. So it has become, back to the point about so many companies greenwashing and how important this is, it's become a high risk.
This sounds more than just maybe a slap on the wrist of past decades. It might cost you reputation, or greenwashing might cost you greenbacks. It might cost you money, right? In fines and lost reputation. So understood. Yeah, serious thing we're talking about here. Now, the car wash industry, David, and our big association in the industry is the International Carwash Association, and they've done research and they've showed how green the car wash industry is when compared to the alternative of driveway washing, how much water and whatnot is used in the driveway compared to the car wash. So the industry has always been seen as a green option, let's say, compared to the alternatives. But when it comes to a business's level of sustainability to today's consumer, with the up and down of the economy and inflation here, so where does a business's level of sustainability rank in the consumer's mind when you factor in other things like convenience and cost and price?
So, per recent studies, and this is like within the last year, the number one thing on people's minds throughout the world is the environment, climate concerns, the global warming. It is in front of war. It's in front of the economy. It's in front of politics. It's in front of health. Now, maybe a couple years ago, COVID might have been in front of it, but now it is the number one thing on the minds of people throughout the world. 7 out of 10 consumers will leave their existing brand, the brand that they are currently buying their product or service from, if they find a similar alternative that's certified sustainable. There was a study a number of years ago, not in the last few years. It would probably be a higher number today if they did the study. But there was a study of car dealerships, 2 Ford dealerships on a highway. They both sell the Mustang. They both sell the F-150. And one of them became certified sustainable. Its sales went up 20%. People drove past the other one to get to the certified sustainable option. So the marketplace is concerned about this, and the marketplace is taking action. Now let's talk about corporate clients for a second. The business that your members have with big companies, fleet service, where they're doing a lot of fleet service. Every one of these corporate clients that already have sustainability programs, and especially the ones that have made a net zero claim, i.e., we're going to be net zero by 2030, they must have sustainability vendors. Their supply chain needs to be sustainable. So if your members want to take market share from the guy down the street on fleet business, on corporate business, become certified sustainable and sell and tell that prospective big company, oh, by the way, guess what? Because those big organizations are desperate for supply chain sustainable vendors.
Yeah, certainly climate change and sustainability are front and center on everybody's mind. 2024, I'm sure it'll be no different as we look to elect a president later on this year. But I'm sure we'll get our climate change and sustainability bullet points from those two candidates. But you mentioned it. Let's talk about where the rubber hits the road here and how car washes can go about being green and sustainable responsibly in the right way, right? And obviously with companies and advisors like yours, that can certainly help. So can a car wash business become certified sustainable, or can they achieve any type of certification or marks that can support their green claims, David?
Quick answer is yes. What we've done is we've produced a guide. Let's say that somebody that's watching this says, you know what, I'm not fully sold, but I want to check it out. Because my gosh, what's a good program? What's a bad program? Where do we go? And this guide gives them 8 key components that make up a good sustainability program. And by the way, affordable price is one of those 8. So there are 8 things that your members want to have in a sustainability program. And if they use that guide and go out and find a program, we would hope it would be us, but if they find a program that meets those 8, they will be happy.
All right, understood. So once they become certified sustainable, what are the best ways to market and advertise these certifications and other green initiatives to their customers in the best and most responsible way?
So the first thing is that whomever you've hired, your client, your members have hired to help them become certified sustainable, that entity should, as part of its overall service, help your organization, if you will, get the message out. It should help your company. It should help train your people on what this means, how to talk about it. It should help you actually put together press releases and posts. It should help you get that message out. You want to communicate with literally all of your stakeholders. You want to communicate with your employees because they're the first touch point with your client, your management of your facilities, obviously clients and prospects, vendors, community. You want your team talking about this. It should be on your website. It should be in your email signatures, your advertising, your sales promotion. When you send a proposal to an organization, everything that carries your brand and your desire to influence others.
All right. So should our audience know anything more about the negative impacts of greenwashing or anything about the benefits of certification as we wrap up here?
So let's circle back to the first thing we touched on. I mean, the reason there's so much greenwashing is because there's money in it. I mean, organizations know that when they wave a flag and say, "Look at me, I'm a sustainable or green or eco-friendly business," customers respond well to that. However, and of all the things that I've said here, this is, if not the most important, certainly one of the 2 or 3 most important things. I hope your members at least go away with this one key point. 70% of all consumers and over 90% of the under 40 consumer disbelieve sustainability or environmental claims that are not supported with a certification and verification. So if a company is greenwashing, it is taking all the risk for just a fraction of the upside, because most people aren't going to believe its claims anyway. Certified sustainable companies are growing up to 20 times faster than their non-certified peers. When you have that certification and you can point to that, it has a dramatic impact on your overall brand and market performance. Mandates and government compliance have already hit. SEC just put out new rules. California's got new rules. In Europe already has new rules. SME, small to mid-sized enterprises, this year will be impacted by their larger clients pushing down, like the supply chain thing I was talking about before. So if your members can make more money by being certified sustainable, and you're going to have to become certified anyway, there's no reason to risk the downside, the damage of greenwashing, when you can get so much more benefit of just doing it the right way.
And speaking of doing it the right way, folks could reach out to consultants like you to lead them on the right green path and do it the right way. So Dave, is there a website or an email address or a phone number you'd like to give out if car wash owners and operators and detailers want to learn more from you?
If they would go to Edenark.com, that's like Garden of Eden and Noah's Ark, EDENARK.com, and there's a contact us tab. Just put your name or email or phone number in there. It asks a bunch of questions. Ignore those questions. Just say, call me, and put your phone number or your email in, and we'll reach out and we'll explain. And then we'll send them that list. That's the first thing we want to do. We want to give them that list, let them chew on that, let them see that. And then if they want to talk further, happy to talk.
All right. Well, I was happy to talk with you today, David. I appreciate you taking some time to discuss this practice or this malpractice of greenwashing and its negative effects. And thank you for taking some time to speak with carwash.com today.
Thank you very much.